The Kerbylon project was a dream given form. Its mission, to slip the surly bonds of Kerbal, to explore outer space, to reach for the horizon, to seek to strive, to never fall, to not go quietly into that good night. This is the Kerbylon project. Hello and welcome back to the Kerbylon project. I decided to play some KSP today. So what we have here is the Kerbal Surveyor. Now, in order to get more science, we are going to try and visit a number of different biomes here on Kerbal. We recently invented these... oh dear. Did not mean to do that. Let's put these back on. Turn on angle snap symmetry. And just pop them back on like so. There we go. Right, so those are our little goo things. Science. Mystery goo containment units. These will be a good source of science. Now, as I understand it in this version of the game, I can only use these once. So that's why I've got 4 of them on this ship. The idea is that I can use them in flight and when we land. This thing has landing legs. It has a parachute. Can I zoom in? Yes, I can. Now, this bit here that I'm pointing at, that is a small fuel tank. And I'm actually using it as to make up the fuselage. Because what you can do in this version of KSP now is you can right-hand click on a fuel tank and you can set how much liquid fuel or oxidizer you have. And because this is part of the lander, I want this thing to be as light as possible, so I've just removed all fuel from it. So that only weighs its dry mass, which is... which is not much, because the mass being listed there is with all the fuel. Mass 2.2, 2.7, that comes to 4.9. The total mass of that thing is, well, it comes to 0.49. The total mass of that thing is 0.56, so it's about 0.5. 0.05 is the mass of that thing. So the fact you can remove fuel from cargo containers allows you to make a really quick and easy things. Now, I've not really bothered with anything else. I haven't got any solid rocket boosters yet, because we're just flying around Kerbal. And this thing has a total delta V of about 3.5 kilometers, which I think is quite a bit. I think this thing could make it into orbit, although that is not actually the plan. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the launch pad, get out my crib sheet with all the keyboard controls on, although I think I remember most of them. Hopefully I've got the staging sorted on this thing, and hopefully we don't fall over in the wind. Right, let's turn on SAS straight away, because that will keep us going upright, although it will start burning electrical charge. I don't have any... I haven't invented batteries yet. So we are heading for those mountains there, which I think are off to the west. So let's stage and throttle up. And we'll just go nice and slow. And head off to those mountains. Oh, okay, we're tipping over a little bit more than I want, so I'll just fight that control a bit. Now those fins down there are not steerable fins. Oh, no, I think we're losing it. Okay, I should not have pointed over quite so fast. I think I've set up staging for an abort stage, though. Come on, come on. No, okay, abort. Abort. Abort cuts all thrust and activates all the stages. I mean, it activates all of the separatrons. Right. So, how do I get the landing gear out? There we go. So, at least we're testing the lander. And you never know, we might end up... Observe the mystery goo. The goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. So that's while flying at Kerbal. I'll keep that data. Parachute should open any moment. There we go. So I don't think I can use these things again. I can reset the goo canister, and I can review the data. See, inoperable after transmitting. If I transmit the data back, then I don't get to use it again anyway. So in general, you're better off now recovering your science. How do I close that down? I just click keep data. Let's have shall we have a crew report? Crew report. You look out of the window and see a piece of your rocket fly off. It wasn't important anyways. Actually it was. We had to sort of abort all of this. And we'll do an EVA report when we land. Actually, I think we'll do a crew report on the ground. I think we're going to be better off doing that. There we go. Alright, let's overwrite the existing crew report. There we go. Crew report from Kerbal Shores. You ponder the mysteries of the universe over your space snacks. Yeah, so that's a little more science there. So we'll keep that. Now, the EVAs, I haven't really come up with a way for him to get back on board because we don't actually have ladders yet, I don't think. Okay, observe the mystery goo. So, mystery goo observation from Kerbal Shores. The goo accumulates near the water-facing side of the container. Interesting. Now, even though I'm going to get less science for each of these, I am just going to do this a few more times. Because there's nothing else we can do on this flight. There we go, and let's get our Kerbal out. EVA, come on, where's the door? Oh, I'll EVA like that. Oops. Let go. Whoa, there we go. You got down. Well done. Well done, dude. So let us do our EVA report. It seems we are on our home planet. Well done. And we will plant a flag, because I want to know all the places that oh, I can take a surface sample. You pick up a small creature with far too many legs. Mission Control denies your request to keep it as a pet. And we will plant a flag. Ta-da! Right, site name. Kerbal Survey 1. There we go. So now I will just recover all of this. We'll start by recovering the ship. Recover vessel. Didn't I get any science for that? Huh. I would have expected to get some science from that. But it didn't tell me. Kerbal. I'm looking here to see if I've got... Where are the goo observations from Kerbal Shores? Mystery goo observations from Kerbal Shores. Science value 0? Something went a little bit glitchy there, didn't it? Let's grab our pilot. Oh, according to this, the ship is still there. Recover vessel. Recover this vessel. There we go. Science summary for Kerbal Survey 1. Lots of stuff. 17 science. Jebediah Kerman. Let us recover him. He's not a vessel. So he's got the surface sample and an EVA report, so that's a little more science. And, okay, we seem to have more than one Kerbal Survey 1. Oh, that's the flag. Yeah, we don't want to recover the flag. Interesting. I thought I could select more than one of these, but it seems I can't. Oh well, no matter. We'll leave the flag there. So even though we've got some more science now, I want to keep doing surveying. Before I redesign the craft... Right, so let us... Actually, we're going to go to the astronaut complex, because See now, I thought I'd set it up for the extra people who wanted to play. I thought their names would appear here, but it doesn't appear that I've done it correctly. I will look into that now. There we go, I'd added the names to the wrong file. So, applicants for hire. We have Bilbo Baggins the 13th. I don't think we need a burglar out in space, but you never know. And we have Man Kerman, nicknamed Madman Kerman. Alright, so let me recruit them. What I'll do is I will rename these other Kermans as and when people ask for their name in the game, and I can always add more later. So I don't think there's anything I can do to them once they're there, it's simply they are available. So, who's going to be first to risk life and limb? I think Madman Kerman. Excuse me a second, my flatmate's cat has just decided to stand right in front of the screen. Hello, cat. Yes, the cat is very cute, but sometimes likes attention. Obviously, when you're at a computer, the way you're facing and what you're paying attention to is the monitor. Anyway, let us go to the launch pad. We will assign Madman Kerman because he was the first person to ask to be recruited. We will have Kerbal Survey 1. Now, the only thing that would be nice is if I could rename this right here and now. I mean, I can change the flag and so on. Incidentally, if people want to, if people have suggestions for some decent flag designs or want to submit them, then they can be used for certain missions. This will be the flag for the actual space agency, and I'll use that most of the time. But you never know. It might be nice, if we have like specific things for specific things. So let me launch. Turn on SAS so we don't fall over, and rename vessel Kerbal Survey 2. Right, this time it is a lander, so we can do that. Okay, this time we're going to do this again, and we'll try and not tilt over quite so early. Let me get my map screen set up, because that's what's going to help me navigate. There we go, and throttle up. And we'll just tilt slightly to the side. That'll do us. And we can keep an eye on the map screen and see how we're doing. Those mountains are a little bit further away than I think they are, aren't they? So we're accelerating at 1G. This should be set to surface information, so we get actual altitude above the terrain. Okay, once again it wants to tip over far too quickly. Oh dear, I suck at this. I so suck at this. It might be those fins. I might want to eliminate them because those are what are forcing this thing to tip over like this. Right, I'm actually going to I'm going to cut thrust stage. There we go. Let's fly this little thing because this we've got more control over it. This thing has a lot less thrust though. This was supposed to just be a landing stage, something which would just let me aim. So let's just head for the closest bit of mountains. We're starting to go up again, but as you can see, this thing burns its fuel pretty quick. Let's see if we can get some. Let's do let's see a goo observation. While flying at Kerbal. No, I think we will discard that. Yeah, we really don't seem to be moving that much, but We'll see if we can get away away from Kerbal shores. That might give us something a little more interesting. About to run out of fuel. There we go. So we'll keep the parabolic arc going for as long as we are heading upwards. Observe the mystery goo. No. Nothing interesting there. We're now heading downwards. Let's point ourselves to the reverse of the direction of travel. Pop the chute at about 5,000. There we go. That'll start us dragging. Turn off SAS. Extend the landing legs. At this point I may as well start keeping some of this data. I just think we're going to be at Kerbal shores again. There we go. One thing you can do in this version of the game is you can actually, you can do things like cut the parachutes. You can set what altitude the parachute will deploy at, and you can also set this thing called minimum pressure. I'm not sure what that's about. I think that might just be setting maybe the minimum air pressure which has to be there before the parachute will bother deploying. Let us physical time warp ourselves closer to the ground, just to get us down a bit quicker. And we'll see what biome we're in. If it isn't a new biome, I'm not going to bother going EVA. Right, observe the mystery goo. This is Jebediah Kerman. Didn't I set this to Madman? Interesting. Mystery goo observation from Kerban's grasslands. The goo takes on the shape of a leaf. Interesting. So let's activate all the rest of these. That leg looks like it's about to wobble off. Mystery goo, mystery goo. They're all taking on the shape of a leaf. Well, it's important to repeat experiments. Let us get a crew report from here. You ponder the mysteries of the universe over your space snacks. They do that a lot, don't they? Keep that data. And let's EVA. Let's do an EVA report. Oh dear. EVA report while flying over Kerban's grasslands? Interesting. Let me keep that data and get back in. Now that's stored, that EVA data. So now if we EVA again and actually get down to the ground this time, and now we EVA report. Now we have an EVA report from Kerban's grasslands. So the fact that I was balanced up there made it think I was flying. Cool. You want to take your helmet off and breathe the sweet air of your home planet. Keep that data. Take a surface sample. Yep, looks like dirt. And let's plant a flag because we've got a new biome. Kerbal Survey 2. Right, I don't think there's any way for you to get back up there, is there? Nope, that isn't going to work. Okay, let us recover him. Although the recover button didn't work last time, did it? There we go. Surface sample from Kerban's grasslands and an EVA report from Kerban's grasslands. We are getting plenty much science now. Right. Landers. Kerbal Survey 2. Recover the vessel. 52 science from that. Okay, actually it says there 12 science earned on this mission with a total of 52. This is good. This is good. Okay. So, why did the wrong person end up on board? Did I just forget to do this? I thought I had done that and put Madman Kerbal there. Ah, I did that before I did that. Select the ship first, then set the pilot. There we go. There is Madman Kerbal. Okay. Whoops, did not mean to zoom through the surface of the planet like that. Okay, let us try heading east again, but this time we are not going to tip at all. I'm not going to keep showing you all of this. I think this is going to be the last flight I will actually show you all of it of. Although, actually, after this we might head for the North Pole. It's possible that this ship just does not have the amount of delta V that I think it does. Alright, let me maximize that. Stage. I'm just going to go straight up for a while. Because the planet is actually rotating underneath us anyway. So let's go straight up until we hit 5,000. Okay, ever so slightly to the side, and I mean ever so slightly. There we go. I think we just want to deflect by a little tiny bit. Kind of want our direction of travel to be in that direction. Admiral Kerman's looking a little worried. Let's tip a little more now. We're getting into the thinner atmosphere, so we should be able to accelerate a little more. I'm just not sure this thing has the range to make it to the mountains. Maybe I should stick some of those solid rocket boosters on it. That might make a hell of a difference. Okay, we're really starting to accelerate now. So this is when I really got to tip us over. Try and get some range in that direction. Okay, let's stage and see how we're doing. Okay, we're almost at the mountains. Oh, there we go, there we go. Let's cut the thrust. Now what I want to do is have just enough thrust so I can... Actually, the planet is rotating underneath me so much that what I might need to do is actually point the other way and do a braking maneuver. Okay, let's get an EVA report. I mean a crew report. Ponder the mysteries of your space snacks. Okay, let's keep that. Let's get a mystery goo container. Mystery goo from Kerbal's upper atmosphere. The goo seems to be getting very cold now. Excellent. Let's go look at the map. Yeah, we need to thrust a little bit this way, because we want to keep that on the mountains. That's what we're aiming for. This shows that this vessel does have the range I need. I just need to get better at flying it. Let's cut the thrust there. And so hopefully we are starting to head down now. Once I see that I'm directly over the mountains, I might want to pop the chute, but still keep this engine attached. I'm not sure if Madman approves of that plan. Okay, we are now heading downwards quite nicely. We don't want to overshoot the mountains, so I'm getting ready to thrust here. Just look, 23,000 feet. Come on. Oops, don't point downwards, I wanted to point you up a bit. Okay, I'm actually going to extend your landing gear already. And cut thrust and stage. There we go. Let's try and get a mystery goo while we're still flying. The goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. Okay. Keep that data. No! Pop the chute. Oh! Wow, I thought that the uneven terrain was confusing the parachute there. And that Madman might have been a goner. Don't worry, Madman, we have your DNA logged in the cloning vats. If you die, then, you know, we will make another one of you. And we've backed up your brain as well. Let me turn off SAS so this thing can straighten itself out a bit. And then I'm going to turn it back on. Oh, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. No, no! Oh, well. As I said, it's a good job that we've is there any debris left? Oh, there's a few little bits and pieces of the spaceship. We successfully landed a leg. Well done, leg. Oh, and that's it. Well, we got to the mountains, we just need to try and find ourselves a flatter landing spot. One of these plateaus if we can. Okay, we have a flight underway with Bilbo Baggins. He's just managed to do an EVA report from the upper atmosphere. We also have another goo report from here. We are just starting to head our way back down. And currently we are on course. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to use the parachute to arrest my travel, but keep the engine on board in the hope that it means we can maneuver ourselves. So I'm watching the map and trying to get an idea as to our positioning. And we will deploy the chute. No. Okay, for some reason that didn't work, so let me just thrust this way. I don't know why the chute didn't deploy. Maybe because there wasn't enough air. Oops. Keep control, come on. Come on, Bilbo, you can do it. There we go. Okay, the chute has now deployed. So let me cut the thrust and check the map. We're still going a bit too far that way, so let me turn on SAS and... Come on, get us back to the mountains if you can. I'm not sure we're going to have a mountain landing, but it does look like it will, might be a different type of terrain. We're just going to burn all our fuel in this direction if we can. Trying to keep an eye on our altitude above the terrain. We've got about we're about 5 kilometers up. There we go. Power over this way. Opening the landing legs, getting ready for this. Come on, you can make it to these mountains. You can make it to these mountains. Getting ready to cut thrust. There we go. We are now relying on the parachute, and hopefully this terrain is a little more level than we had before, although it doesn't look like it. Okay, what I'm going to try and do is... Oh, this is still very, very steep here, isn't it? Bilbo? I don't know. Mystery goo? Anything new? Nope. Reset that experiment. Problem is the moment we touch the ground, the parachute vanishes. And that is a real issue. no, no. Okay, I'm going to leave the mountains for now. It's obviously far too difficult. We've also lost our 2 recruits. Don't worry, they will be recloned for the next episode. Once again, you join us with a flight in progress. Surveyor 3 this time made an attempt for the North Pole. It hasn't quite made it, and in fact looks like it's coming down in a mountain range. Hopefully that won't be the case. Jebediah has just made it into space though, and I'm not sure whether anyone has made it here before yet, so let's open a mystery goo. You hope taxpayers won't find out how much observing the goo in space costs. Yes, let's keep that data. Let us do a crew reports. The planet Kerbal is blue and there's nothing I can do. I have seen that before, so we have been in space before. Let us try an EVA. We're not going to let go. We are just going to do an EVA report. EVA report from space just off Kerbal's Highlands. Whee! Yeah, so we'll keep the data and reboard, because you can do multiple EVA reports. So, as I... Stop shouting, Jeb. As I fly, I can try doing various different EVA reports. Are we going to start coming down soon? We're approaching our apoapsis. We've got about 24 seconds. So let's go EVA again. Kerbal's Highlands again. You think you see something moving on the moon. All you can think about is potatoes. Okay, let's keep that data and reboard. Oh, experiments you've collected cannot be stored. If I do this one, I lose the other one. Okay. Bored anyway. Dump experiments. Oh well. We are now heading down again. Well, we don't actually have any fuel, so let's pop that out and get ready to pop the chute. Of course, EVA reports I could be transmitting, couldn't I? Let's see if I can get that sorted nice and quickly. Come on. Right hand click. Activate the communitron. Review stored data. EVA report. Transmit. Not enough electric charge. Okay. Oh well. The communitron was pretty useless on this flight, but there you go. Oh, and now I have no control over my spacecraft. I can't rotate it anymore. Because, of course, the reaction wheels, which is what allows you to rotate, they require electricity, and I just burnt it all up trying to send an EVA report. Oh well. Where are we going to come down? Dunno. I think we're going to fall a bit short, and we'll come down probably there, which looks like it counts as the Highlands. So we have no torque control. So Newton is in the gravity chute. Gravity chute? Newton is in the gravity chute. We are shooting him out using gravity. He's cursing himself that he ever invented such a thing. No, we're coming in now pretty hot. This is where I am pleased that I am not using deadly re-entry. Explained before, the reason I'm not using it is for 2 reasons. One, this game is hard enough for me to play as it is. I am no Scott Manley. He's a genius when it comes to this game. Do we have chatter of volume? I'm going to actually cut this down a bit. Quindar volume. Not sure what Quindar is, but we're going to reduce that a bit, because they've been shouting a bit as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so we are coming down now, pretty damn fast. I'm wondering if that thing's going to shorten as the atmosphere slows us down, or whether we might actually make it to some mountains completely by chance. Whether or not Jebediah will survive is an entirely different matter. Okay, aerodynamic forces are now pointing us around in different directions. We are still going pretty fast. We've just lost our communitron. Oh, our parachute is already deployed. Okay, let's hope it doesn't rip off. I didn't expect the parachute to already deploy. I must have pressed space once too often. Okay, we are now slowing down. The parachute is still there. That is good news. We are still going faster than the speed of sound. We are... Let's get surface details. We are 3.5 kilometers above the terrain. We are definitely coming down on this mountain. Let us deploy our landing legs. Let's get a goo containment, maybe. No, that's pointless. Reset the experiment. Are we going to lose Jeb the same way we lost everyone else? I can't believe that I decided mountain landings was too dangerous, so I headed for the North Pole, and here I am, heading for another mountain. The problem with mountains is if you don't get flat ground, it just doesn't help. Okay, now the one thing I might do is get ready on the EVA button. If this thing starts to crash, I'm going to eject Jeb, because a Kerbal has more of a chance of surviving outside of the spacecraft than they do in it once a crash starts happening. I really think that ground is not going to be even enough. So if we start a tumble, I'm EVAing and letting go. Here we go. Right, EVA. Let's try and switch to Jeb. Where is he? There he is. Okay, he's tumbling down. He might survive this, in which case I can at least get a surface sample. Whee! Okay. If this is a nice gradual slope, then he might survive. If there's no sudden stops. Oh, luckily Kerbals are primarily made of rubber. You can hear him breathing. One of the mods I've added, I think it might be, it's the Chatterer mod, has this optional thing called Soundscape. It adds all sorts of cool sound effects. Okay, let's just run this way a bit. Okay, where are we? EVA report. Okay, EVA report from Kerbals Highlands. Oh, I don't believe we're still in a highland. We've done highlands. We want a mountain. Okay, we're going to try running him this way. So I can make him run, and I can do a physical time warp. What we're going to try and do is run up this mountain. We want an EVA report to be part of a mountain. Okay, let's try here. No, that's still Kerbals Highlands. You'd think this would count as a mountain by now. I mean, this looks pretty mountainous to me. Okay, EVA reports. Still the Highlands. I'm not sure how much further up he can climb. Okay, I give up. It just seems to be Highlands all the way, and I'm getting bored. So let's just keep that data. We'll take a surface sample. Dirt, grass, and some small rocks. You suspect that this isn't going to be much of a groundbreaking discovery, and we won't even bother planting a flag. So we're going to stick some solid rocket boosters on this thing, or 1 or 2 if we can, and then we're going to head for the North Pole again. So I'm just cruising along here on the last dregs of my fuel, trying to correct my direction of travel so I can get to that North Pole. I think I was burning in the wrong direction. I think I got a bit confused as to which way was which. So we're just thrusting gently at the horizon because we We don't need that much more height. We still haven't reached our apoapsis. We still have another stage after this as well, so I think we can make it to the North Pole. So we're just sort of burning, because this is our direction of travel, so I'm burning on the opposite side of our direction of travel. Maybe I should bring it over a little more. Let's really try and correct that. There we go. We're burning actually sort of 90 degrees now. Fortunately, that's slowing us down quite a bit as well. Oops, this thing does not handle too well. We are in space. Oh, we're out of fuel. Well, that was silly, wasn't it? I didn't realise we were out of fuel. Okay. Let's really thrust like this. There we go. Now we're moving this northwards and more in the right direction. So we're just going to burn through this fuel. See, unfortunately the polar ice caps are not... Oh yes, oh wow, okay, that's a lot further north than I thought it needed to be. Okay, let's burn now this way. We are heading down, so I want to burn up a little bit to try and keep us going. We're about to re-enter the atmosphere. Okay, now we're really extending that line. If I can get that into this, just beyond the actual North Pole, let's cut that there. We have a little bit of fuel left, so we might be able to do a braking maneuver if necessary. Let us point in the reverse direction of travel and turn off SAS. That will save us power. That way I'll still have attitude control if necessary without the engine running. Okay, so we have re-entered the atmosphere. We are heading back down, and it looks like that will shorten a bit, but it looks like we do have our polar flight. And Bill Kerman will be able to go to the North Pole, or at least pretty close to the North Pole. We're just watching these numbers now. It's a shame it's night time. Actually, let's look at the craft from this side. That way the sun is actually on the correct side of it. Oh, let's actually rotate the craft so the nav ball shows up as up. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's turn SAS back on just for this maneuver. Otherwise it just starts rotating randomly. There we go. How are we doing? How's this line doing? We haven't really started slowing down yet. We're actually going almost to orbital speed now. We're not actually in orbit though. So this was almost an orbit. Which I don't think I've done an orbit yet, have I? This is going to be the last planetary survey I think we will do. We've got plenty of science now that will let us unlock a lot of nice, interesting bits and pieces. So next time we might head for Minmus. We don't need communication satellites yet because we're basically going to be going for sample return missions, and we haven't invented unmanned probes. Once we've got unmanned probes, then we're going to need a communications network in order to keep control of them. Just trying to point this thing in the reverse direction of travel, ready for the re-entry. Okay, we haven't really slowed down much at all. This is very shallow though, which means we are going to get a lot of slowdown because we're coming in so shallow. There'll be a lot of atmosphere, but we do have a little bit of fuel left, which means if necessary I can maybe burn. Bill Kerman is having a whale of a time looking at his little tiny window. Okay, we're approaching the thicker part of the atmosphere now. So we've started slowing down now. There we go. And we're just approaching the ice shelf now. It's 30 kilometers up. Our speed is still 2 kilometers per second, and orbital speed is about 23 kilometers per second. So we almost made it into an orbit. You can see there, though, that is really shortening, but just so long as we make it over the ice shelf before we slow down. I'm curious whether or not I should maybe thrust up a bit. Let me point us upwards if I can, and use the rest of our fuel. Or even point us in the direction of travel and thrust a bit. I'm just curious whether or not I can get... There we go, I think we're out of fuel now. Yep, so let's ditch that. Well, okay, we'll let the aerodynamic forces straighten us out. We're now at 1 kilometer per second. Actually, he's getting a little bit seasick, so we'll try to rest that a bit. Approaching Mach 2. I think the speed of sound is about 330 meters per second. That's a rough guess, though. I've never actually looked up the exact numbers. And the speed of sound on the surface of Kerbal, of course, might be different to the speed of sound on the surface of the Earth. Because how fast sound goes is based on the density of the atmosphere. Okay, we're at 12 kilometers. Yeah, nice Arctic landing. We'll pop the chute at 5 kilometers, I think. No need to slow down our descent more than that. See the sun there on the horizon. Now, of course, Kerbal doesn't have a tilted. Kerbal's rotation is not tilted in respect to the sun, so you don't get seasons, and the poles always have the sun just sat on the horizon. It's never permanent night or permanent day at the poles. Although we're not quite at the North Pole, so we might get a slight sunset. Yeah, there we go. Parachutes out. Let's extend these legs before I forget. Let's do a mystery goo while we're flying. Yeah, okay. The flying one doesn't really care where you are, does it? So I already had a space one, so we'll do everything else once we are down. Here we go. There's the moon. We'll visit there at some point. And we're down. Okay, mystery goo units. From Kerbal's ice caps, the goo starts to freeze. It doesn't seem to like it. Excellent. So we'll keep that data. We're just going to do this all the way around. Yep, same result every time. Okay, let's do a crew report from here. You wish you'd brought ice skates. Keep the data. And let's EVA. Do an EVA report from here. Get back in, quick. So we'll keep that data, and we will board the vessel, and that will store that EVA report inside the capsule. Now we can EVA again. Come down to the ice. Don't knock your spaceship over. Excellent. It's cold and windy here. You can hear it. Right, what do you think about this? It seems we are on our home planet, but we're on the ice cap, so that is worth science. Let's grab a surface sample. You get a sample, but fear to dig any deeper because of the cracking sounds. You try not to think back to how you landed here. Let's keep that, and we will plant a flag. So, Bill Kerman, well done. You managed to make it close to the North Pole, to the North Polar ice caps. This is Kerbal Survey 3. Well done. Well done indeed. Let's recover you first. There we go. That got me another 11 science just from him. Let's go to the tracking station. Kerbal Survey 3 up there at the North Pole. So I didn't get quite to the North Pole, but I got pretty close. Let us recover this vessel. And we got 12.3 science from that one. We have a total of 93 science, which we'll spend at the beginning of the next episode, I think. But let's just go in here and see how much this next tier costs. Things at this next tier costs 45 science, so we will be able to unlock 2 of them. So, quick survey, we have survivability, which gives us... Oh no, requires survivability. This is science tech. So this gives us batteries, science junior, a better comms unit, and a compact survey unit. This is for kethane scanning. So that will be important if I want to mine kethane and stuff. We have flight control, which gives us a reflectron. While moving this antenna to a test site, engineers always forgot to turn it on. Frustrated with having to walk back and forth, they had this antenna be active by default. Okay, so this is a 500 kilometer range antenna. We have a little winglet. Now that's a winglet that can actually steer. We have a cockpit. We have our first unmanned pod. So that might be interesting, because if we get that, then we can actually start putting up communication satellites and doing unmanned surveys of the moon and stuff. And an inline reaction wheel. We have general construction. Gets us kethane storage apparatus. We get our strut connectors. That's good for making things nice and rigid. We get our launch stability enhancers, essentially our launch towers. We have another type of radial decoupler, and we have a tri-coupler. Now this means you can go from a single thing to 3 rockets and stuff. Or up here we have advanced rocketry, which gives us our radial mounted liquid engines and a very large fuel tank. So we can get 2 of those ready for the next one. I'll leave it up to you guys which you think we should get. My instincts are to go for the unmanned probes and the science, so that way we can get some communication networks going and some remote surveying happening. We've already got here large fuel boosters, large rockets, aerodynamic nose cones, radial decouplers, and radial mounted parachutes and legs and stuff. So we can get 2 of these 4 things: advanced rocketry, general construction, flight control, or science tech. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.